Second, please.
His Worship, Deputy CEO, members of council, Bonipo Navet, second.
All in favor? Any against? The motion is carried. Tourism and Heritage.
His Worship, Tourism and Heritage report of meeting held on 7th of January 2020. I move for adoption. So move that this report be adopted.
Second, please.
Your Worship, Deputy CEO, Administration, members of Council, I, Councillor Gedari, Marabella South, Vistabella, hereby second.
All in favor? Any against? Any abstention? The motion is carried. Sports and Social Services.
Worship, Mr. Deputy CEO, I move for the adoption of the Sports and Social Services report meeting held on the 7th of January 2020.
Your Worship, Mr. CEO, Koke Tuba rise to second.
All in favor? Any against? Any abstention? The motion Spend Committee.
Your Worship, Mr. Deputy CEO, members of Administration, Council members, I, Marabella West, rise to hereby adopt the committee report for the Assessment Committee held on the 7th of January 2020.
Second, please.
Your Worship, Mr. CEO, Acting CEO, members of Council, members of Admin, Springvale Paradise, so second.
All in favor? Any against? Any abstention? The motion is carried. Deputy CEO, any petitions? Any motions?
None, Your Worship.
Any personal expeditions?
None, Your Worship.
Any questions?
None, Your Worship.
Any other urgent matters for discussion?
None, Your Worship. From admin.
Members, any questions? Councillor Gedari, you were speaking something about carnival some time ago?
Your Worship, through the Chair, Deputy CEO, Councillors, Administration. I was making reference to the funding that was appropriated to the city of San Fernando for the carnival season of 2020 in shock and dismay, where I discovered that a mere $400,000 have been given to the city of San Fernando for the execution of one of our main tourism activities for the year, as opposed to funding that has been granted to Tobago in the value of $7.7 million. And I stand to ask the question, can there be a comparison with what we put on in the city of San Fernando for that value as compared to what takes place in Tobago? And it stands to reason that San Fernando City as a whole and its citizens and its visitors for the carnival season are certainly doing their best with the smallest of contributions from the national coffers for the city of San Fernando, Your Worship.
So I gather you're referring to the paucity of the offering in terms of the 7.4 million to Tobago compared to the what is allocated to San Fernando. But let me just inform you that we have not received our allocation as yet, although it has been allocated, so we are not encouraged to what the figure would be. Last year it was 400,000. Now let's hope that the powers that be will be more generous in their offering this time around. But in the interim, yes, there's a huge disparity there in terms of what we have, in terms of numbers. But I mean, we are accustomed to doing more with less. We'll do what we have to do. The dynamics in Tobago would be different to San Fernando. I know there's a THA funding, and maybe it will be augmented by funding, domestic funding from Tobago. But it is what it is, and we have to move forward. And hosting Carnival, I must commend the band leaders in San Fernando for their passion and commitment in making sure Carnival is alive in San Fernando in spite of our challenges, because we continue to maintain a high standard of mass and our production, our costume compared to what happens elsewhere. Having said that, Carnival 2020 is almost at its pinnacle, and after weeks of pre-Carnival festivity and planning, only 6 days of celebration remain. Therefore, it's my duty, like every year, to report to the citizens of San Fernando how the remaining events will be concluded. The month of January came with its challenges as we began preparations for the carnival season. We met several members of Trinidad and Tobago Police Services, the Municipal Police Corporation, band leaders, and other major stakeholders of carnival. We were able to put forward a plan to maintain law and order, as well as to sensitize the general public of our efforts in making the Carnival 2020 experience in San Fernando one that is safe and enjoyable. On Friday, 7th February, we hosted a community carnival caravan to spread awareness and information on crime prevention for a safer carnival at the Library Corner. This was done in collaboration with the Ministry of National Security, National Crime Preventative Program. This successful event brought live musical entertainment from our police, prison and fire services band, as well as several local calypsonians, all promoting messages of crime prevention throughout the carnival season. The event was very well advertised and supported by persons of the general public. Due to its location, passersby were able to participate in the event and receive important information from the National Crime Preventative Program. Having said that, I wish to highlight an accident which took place a few weeks ago when a taxi driver lost control of his vehicle and crashed into an innocent bystander and a vendor who was selling or vending in a no vending zone. Let me make the point that the railing that was recently installed around Library Corner was a preventative measure, and had those railings not been there, the damage could have been worse. Maybe we could have had loss of lives. For these reasons, the San Fernando City Corporation installed multiple railings around the pedestrian walkway at Library Corner to create a safer environment for our citizens, as well as to discourage jaywalking. We trust that those who were not in favor of the said railings will now have a greater appreciation for its purpose, as without them the accident could have been far worse. The San Fernando City Corporation takes the safety and general well-being of our citizens very seriously. Additionally, we have adjusted the carnival routes so as to address issues of congestion in the city and to those in the neighboring area. We also want to emphasize on the addition of Superior Street, where there are some terms and conditions that must be adhered to, and the police have made it abundantly clear that they will guide these processes. As a consequence, and in highlight of the plight, street vendors will now receive a ply to sell their goods on High Street from 12 p.m. today until Carnival Sunday. We'll continue to maintain safety in the city, and I must admit that the vendors came to us yesterday morning asking for some sort of consideration, as there will be an opportunity for them to make a living based on the amount of tourists we have in the city of San Fernando. I'm seeing some of the audience this morning as an opportunity for them to, in a very humanitarian standpoint, the council this morning made a decision to allow the vendors to vend without police, I don't want to use the term harassment, Mr. Wren, but without police interference. And Mr. Wren, have you put things in place for that?
Yes, Your Worship. I've called the necessary officers in relation to that.
So they will allow the vendors to vend from lunchtime today until Sunday evening?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. There are several other factors that have encouraged protective thinking and policy in the city. One major concern spoke to the health and safety of the patients at the San Fernando General Hospital. Consequently, we have taken action to reroute carnival bans and enforce strict sanctions to limit the level of noise that patients and staff alike may experience. Furthermore, I believe that San Fernando City Corporation and the Carnival Committee have in fact done a wonderful job to engage the general public on the shared responsibility they have with law enforcement in safeguarding this year's Carnival for all. Members, this morning is a very critical morning, a very special morning, because we are heading to the Carnival season, and I want to take the opportunity to wish everyone a very safe Carnival and to commend the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service as well as our municipal police for the steps that are being taken to ensure that there will be safety and crime prevention in our city. We now have Mr. Wren. How many officers we have on staff now?
Sir, at this time we have 72 officers. Those include also officers who are on vacation leave and compensatory leave at this time. So we have a network of 72, and we have 21 training right now.
As you're on your feet, could you outline what policy or plans you have for Carnival Monday and Tuesday?
Well, good morning to all. In relation to the police, in association with the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, we have ironed out certain strategic points and locations whereby we will post our officers to ensure the smooth transition of the carnival in San Fernando. Also, the municipal police have additional responsibilities in maintaining the security and the well-being of officers who work out of the San Fernando City Corporation, the Carib Street Complex, also all the different wards that fall within the San Fernando City area. So we have our hands full, but our officers are up and dedicated and willing to do their part.
So are you aware that there's a high percentage of visitors around this time? Last night I saw several of them traversing the Coffee Street area, and I know that we have patrol, and can we put things in place? Can I speak to Mr. Santana to ensure that we have a regular presence at visitor police officers, particularly around the bands, the steel bands, or the mass bands, as the case may be, on evenings between now and Carnival, Monday, Tuesday?
Well advised, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Ren. There's a lady in the audience, members, who is the daughter of Chancellor. And Chancellor, if I can best describe him as a folk character of the city of San Fernando. We have heard so many stories of Chancellor, but there is no nexus, no connection between Chancellor and the city corporation. And that is something that we need to rectify, and recognition should be given to Chancellor, because those of us who grew up in San Fernando know of Chancellor. So I would like her to stand, please, and if you can come forward and just tell us a bit about Chancellor. We need to know about Chancellor. We need to know the real story. Can we have a microphone? Come forward a bit, please. Yeah, all that's good, yes. Yeah, all that's good, all that's good. Yeah.
Well, I can be here all day to talk about my dad, but I'll try and make it a little bit more comfortable. My father, he was one of 6 children, and they all grew up in the orphanage. He learned to play music and to do welding while he was there. After a while, he went to England to further his music. That was his passion. Before he left, he had 4 children. I'm being the first one, and as far as he was concerned, I was his queen. That's what he said. Apparently, my father wasn't working for quite a while. He had jobs, bits and pieces here. And when I was born, on the same day, he was called out to work in forest reserve or whatever. Highly paid, where he was a A-class welder, musician. And at the end of the week, as my mother said, he put $10 in my hand. And in those days, $10 was a lot of money. We're talking about 1951. And he put the money in my hand and said, I was his queen because I brought him luck. And he was okay. He came to England to study music, where he sent for my mom. And she followed, and he, like I said, his music. But in England, you cannot go practicing music and making noise because it's not allowed. And because someone encouraged him to come there, and he did. On evenings when he came from work, he would practice his music, and the landlady was not having it. And strange enough, that sent my father off because he couldn't play his music, and he was very, very disturbed. He was treating my mom, I have to say, very badly. Also, he had a sister who grew up in the orphanage as well, and he was the one took her under his wing. He did everything for her, gave her everything, ill-treated my mom. He worked in England for a lot of money, which he sent to his sister back in Trinidad. All of his money, and ignored my mom and all of us. However, after a while, he didn't want to be in England no more because of the music he couldn't play. He went back to Trinidad only to find that all the money he sent to his sister to build the house and what have you, she did build the house, but in her and her husband's name. My father had nowhere to live. When he came back, there was no house, nothing. He went absolutely berserk, in which he called the police for him, and I think he was arrested and went to St. Anne's. And he just never got better. And my mother came back to England, to Trinidad. We had nowhere to live or anything like that. And he blamed my mother and saying, she was running wild and going with men and things like that, which was not true. And after that, they separated and they went their way. We were in hiding for a long time because my dad went absolutely crazy. And he really should have had it out with his sister, and she sent the police, and he, let us say, it just deteriorated. And my mother went back to England in 62, and she sent for me. And, when I left Trinidad, my father, I couldn't tell him because he really wanted me there. I had to hide, so he didn't know it. And when he found out, 2 days later, he found out I had gone to England without him knowing. That finished it, because he started shouting, "His queen's gone, his queen's gone," and he just got worse. And I think that is when he started on the train. I didn't even know anything about Hollis, living on the promenade. And that's what happened, in a nutshell. He just lost everything. And his sister, well, she had it all. She had the house, money in the bank.
What year did he die?
Nothing.
What year he died?
98, June 98.
Where is he buried?
His ashes is in the Belgrove Cemetery.
Belgrove. Where is he from originally?
I think, I cannot remember where it's been so long. Capichina. That's where my dad used to live.
What is his connection with San Fernando?
Sorry?
What was his connection with San Fernando?
Well, nothing as far as I know. I didn't know anything that he was connected with anything except being on the streets. And
We all knew him. We all knew him around Library Corner, blowing a saxophone there.
Exactly.
So he's seen as a sort of a folk character around San Fernando, and almost every San Fernandian who, from my time, knew Chancellor from the library. So maybe there was some love for Library Corner or San Fernando.
Right.
However, it's an interesting story. We want to thank you for sharing it with us, and all of us in San Fernando appreciate some way Chancellor's contribution. There's a connection between us and him.
Yeah. I only realized this afterwards. I didn't even know this was happening because I'm in England and I didn't really know. Whenever I came on holiday, I would visit him, sit and chat with him because he remembered, and like I said,
Well, we must thank you for coming here this morning and sharing the story with us, at least enlighten us to the facts, because there's so many rumors about it.
Tell me about it.
And we need to correct that, and we must take that, I don't want to say from the horse's mouth, but at least from the Queen's mouth. Right. So we have an understanding of what Chancellor did, and we thank you so much for coming this morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Let me just go further to see that Chancellor was a very peaceful character, right? As he did what he had to do. Always very well dressed, may I say. Even though his clothes were a bit tattered, he had his tie, his jacket, his hat, and his trumpet in his hand, playing his music. So that's one aspect of this morning's proceeding. The other one is to recognize an organization led by a very dynamic young lady, may I say. I first came across Sandu people on social media maybe a year or so ago. I had no idea who behind this thing or what was happening, but I saw this page came up, Sandu people, and all about San Fernando, talking about San Fernando, promoting our beloved city, speaking about aspects of San Fernando, historical perspective of San Fernando, and what San Fernando is about, and most importantly, how we live as San Fernandians, with the kind of generosity and love and hospitality that we all know and we so and we boast about Wiley. So this morning I want to recognize the Sando People Organization based in New York. I think the committee is here, and it's led by Ms. Claire Sandy, and Claire has so many other names. I know as Claire Sandy, who is really the live wire behind Sando People. Always promoting San Fernando, highlighting, and what is also important that they highlight the San Fernando that we once knew, San Fernando of old. And there's a difference between San Fernando of then and San Fernando of now, but it is still San Fernando. And those of us of a particular age appreciate the pictures that are presented, the stories are being told, what we did, where we went, where we passed, which school we attended, who we met, our friends. It is now connecting with people from so many who live so many different parts, but are now reconnecting with who was in Standard 1 in Boys RC, all different things like that. So it's a critical role that's being played by Claire and her group, and the San Fernando City Corporation would like to recognize them this morning with a token of appreciation, and maybe ask Claire to share her thoughts with us and her committee, what brought about this exercise. And may I say, because we have persons of different political persuasion on this table, that Sando People is not a political organization, and one of their mantras that they don't tolerate political comments on their page. So I'll invite Claire to come forward and share their vision with us.
Fernando, his deputy CEO, council members, the media, family and friends, and Sando Day, hashtag Sando. Sando People, hashtag Sando. We are here this morning on the invitation of our generous mayor, and we just want to let you guys know that we are all about San Fernando, Sando, we call ourselves, because the committee comprises of members of San Fernando. We are 5 here today, and there is 7 more in New York. So we came out of New York. It was a dream and a vision that we really want to do things to promote our beloved city that we all grew up with, in and with, and the library corner, and we have thoughts of hanging out by Jack Frost and Huggins and who stole candy from Woolworths.
I did.
We speak of all these things on our page, so it's really a fun page that we encourage people to share all your memories of childhood, growing up, and having fun. And besides that, we also promote the culture of San Fernando, which is so rich and which is so not recognized and acknowledged. And I always say to my friends and family that San Fernando is always treated as a stepchild. When coming to the culture, they don't really promote our culture. And I listen to people, boasting and saying that most of the Calypsonians came from South, but what are they giving back, and how are they helping promote San Fernando? And this is the thing that our group, Brian and Matthew, Winston and Marva, I would like you guys to recognize our members also. So we worked hard. We had a Sando Day in Brooklyn in August, and coming out of that, we had over 1,500 San Fernando people on that day in Canarsie Park in Brooklyn. So the next day we started posting the pictures, and all the people of San Fernando who some of us, we hadn't seen them for like over 20 years, but everybody came out that day. And I guess San Fernando people got jealous of that, and they asked us to do Sando Day in San Fernando for the carnival for all who were coming home. So we had Sando Day in Palmis, although it's not actually in San Fernando, but the park depicted what it is we wanted to convey to everybody. We had tents, and everybody brought their food, drinks. Nothing was for sale. Everything was shared. So it's a love thing. It's a oneness and a love thing that we're trying to promote. And we had a very good turnout on Sunday. We had like an estimated between 800 to 1,000 San Fernando people there in the park. So we could only grow in strength and get better. Now our mission really when we first started out, our mission really is to come back to Trinidad and to help with whatever charitable causes we could help out with. We donate to Hope Center and to another one, I can't remember the name right now, the Anglican mission. Yeah, so we do stuff. Every year we come home, we will, bring down things and we take for them, we take food, we spend time with the kids. So we are looking to promote, really, San Fernando to our people. Because we really love, for me, I tell them my heart is here. The only time I actually played Mass in Port of Spain, my niece was getting married one year and I came home for the wedding, and my daughter and my niece, and they actually begged me to play with Mincha. That was the first year I actually went to Port of Spain for Carnival. Not even kiddies carnivals. I'm always in San Fernando. And I tell people, this is my home, this is my heart. This is where I went to school. I attended San Fernando Girls Government. I went to Aquinas, and my heart is here. So I do things to promote San Fernando. So when the mayor said to me, you got to come and address that, I was like, you guys have to be here also, because I'm not a public speaker. I do a lot of things, but I practically stay in the
You're not doing too
background.
bad.
Thank you. So, we really want to promote, because now we have the page. We started the page has grown to over 4,000 members in a short space of time.
All San Fernandians.
All San Fernandians, because it is a fun page. We don't encourage religion, because I say to them, we have so many different diverse religions, So we don't want anybody to be arguing and messing up the page about your religion, my religion. We don't talk politics. So at the end of the day, we are all one. We're all the same. So we don't encourage the politics. We want everybody just to have fun, go back in time. And one guy has sent me a message and he said to me, you know what, I think this page will help me not to get Alzheimer's. Because it took him back to his child, memories of growing up, fun memories of growing up in San Fernando. So with that being said, this is who we are, and we want to help to promote our culture in San Fernando. So we're going to work with the mayor. He's going to let us know how we can help, how our organization
Okay, let me just tell you,
help.
we have a tourism committee, and the chairperson of tourism will touch base with you.
Right.
As we look at promoting San Fernando. We want to fill all the hotels in San Fernando. We want to bring back Carnival in San Fernando,
right, yes.
have more mass bands on the street, and promote, really look at the overall development of San Fernando, because there's so much that we can do. I want to appreciate you and your group for the tremendous amount of work that you're doing outside there. You are our ambassador, so we want to congratulate you and your entire team. And the council made a decision to present you with a citation, which I will now do as I come forward.
But before we are finished, we have a small band coming out on Monday evening. We call it the rebirth of San Fernando. It's like bringing San Fernando out of the ashes. And we have different colors for different areas, and we ask people to come out and wear black and white or white. And we give you a yard of fabric. You could do it any which way you want. And we have hatters on the streets with us, because the steel bands are dying to come back out on the streets. But we have to encourage them, and we have to be there for them to help the steel bands, because that
You
is...
certainly have my support there.
I know this.
Okay.
So with this, I thank you very much.
You're most welcome. So now that you're a celebrity, Ms. Claire, Give our regards to New York. I'm from warm and sunny San Fernando. So members, thank you for a very productive day. Let me just take the opportunity to wish everyone a safe and happy Carnival 2020.